I am pleased to join the rest of the globe to commemorate this year's World Refugee Day. Nearly 80 million women, children, and men around the world have been forced from their homes as refugees or internally displaced people. Even more shocking, 10 million of these people fled in the past year alone. On World Refugee Day, we pledge through the voice of our UN Secretary General, Antonio Guterres, to do everything within our capacity and resources to advocate to end the conflict and persecution that drive these appalling numbers. Today, we also recognize the generosity and humanity of host communities and countries that often struggle with their own economic and security concerns. We owe those countries our thanks, our support, and our investment. I would particularly like to commend the humanitarian commitment of the government of Rwanda, who has been providing asylum to more than 150,000 refugees for the last 2 decades. In September 2019, following its commitment to save the lives of hundreds of refugees and asylum seekers stranded in Libya, the government helped establish an emergency transit mechanism in Rwanda. It is our common responsibility to work together to re-establish the integrity of the international refugee protection regime and to ensure the implementation of the pledges made at the Global Refugee Forum held in Geneva in December 2019, so that refugees and host communities receive the assistance they need. Since the adoption of the Comprehensive Refugee Response Framework in February 2018, the Rwandan authorities and UNHCR envision a comprehensive solution approach for refugees in the country and take active steps for their socio-economic integration. Rwanda is a pioneer country that reiterated its genuine commitment to the refugee cause by presenting progressive pledges at the Global Refugee Forum in the thematic areas of education, jobs and livelihoods, energy and infrastructure, protection and solution, and health. As the UN resident coordinator, I call upon UN agencies, development partners, private sector, NGOs to enhance their partnership with the government in delivering on those pledges and beyond. This year, the COVID-19 pandemic poses an additional threat to refugees and displaced people who are among the most vulnerable. In Rwanda, the government continues to ensure that refugees are included in the COVID-19 preparedness and response plan supported by UN and other partners and their lives protected. I take this opportunity to salute those efforts aligned with the Agenda 2030 principle of leaving no one behind. In Rwanda, refugees and displaced people are also prominent among those who are stepping up to make difference on the front lines of the response as community workers supporting COVID-19 prevention and response measures, as soap and mask makers promoting the improvement of hygiene practices to avoid the spread of the pandemic, as farmers and entrepreneurs joining efforts with Rwandan people to mitigate the economic impact of the pandemic for the refugees and host communities. On World Refugee Day, we thank refugees for their resourcefulness and determination to rebuild their own lives and to improve the lives of those around them. Today and every day, we stand in unity and solidarity with refugees and recognize our fundamental obligation to shelter those fleeing war and persecution. We are together, Turi Kumwe, Abishize Hamwe, na Kibananira.